beneficent and merciful. Today we will plan the second number chapter of the high school grammar written Wren and Martin. But again, I am reminding you before starting the lecture that if someone is new in my lecture, please subscribe my lecture. And today we will explain the second number chapter. It's about the subject and predicate. That's word subject, and the second one is called predicate. A subject. What's the subject? Whenever we are talking or whenever we are discussing something, so we name some person or thing. This is called the subject. And whenever we are talking whenever we are talking or discussing something, we name some person or thing. This is called subject. But the remaining thing, the remaining sentence is called a predicate. Okay, subject. So what subject? The word which shows a person, place, or thing that we are talking about is called a subject. The word which shows a person, place, or thing that we are talking about is called a sentence. It means that for it means that whenever we are talking, so whenever we are facing a word or whenever we are writing, we are facing a word, and that one word is showing to us a place, person, place, or thing. So that is called the subject of the sentence. According to the examples, nature is the good physician. Nature is the good physician. So nature is the subject here. But the remaining sentence is a predicate here. But we are not discussing in this one topic the predicate, but because we are focusing on the subject. Nature is a subject because if you think about this one thing, nature is a thing. It is not a person. It is not a place, but nature is a thing. And according to the definition, a word which shows a thing. For example, a word. Nature is also a word, but it shows to us a thing, and it's also a thing. But nature, so in this one definition, in this one example, nature is a subject because it's the word. It's a word, and we are talking about this one thing. So it's called the subject of the sentence, but the remaining sentence is called the predicate of the sentence. According to the second one example, the earth is round. In this one example, the earth is the subject. Why it's the subject? Because we are talking about the earth, that it's round. And the first one example, we are focusing on the nature, that nature is the good physician. We are talking about that is the good physician. What is the good physician? Nature is the good physician. So it's the subject. And we in the second one example, we are talking that the earth is round. One thing is round, earth is round. Earth is round, so earth is a subject. Earth is subject and nature is subject. And the remaining sentence is a predicate. Okay. So when we were studying the lower level definitions, if you think about, but this is the universal definition. This is the universal definition, and this is the definition for kids. When we were the students of the middle class, that we were saying that the doer of an action is called subject. The doer of an action is called subject. If you think about this one statement, the doer of an action is called subject. He is eating meal. Who is working in this one sentence? He is working in this one sentence. Yes, so it's the subject of the sentence. It's a subject of the sentence because he is eating meals. Who is eating? He is eating meals. So this is the sentence of the subject. If you think about the second one sentence, Islamabad is the capital of Pakistan. But in this one sentence, Islamabad is doing nothing. Islamabad is doing nothing. So what should we do now with this one example? Because according to this one definition, the doer of an action is called subject. The doer, but in this one definition, Islamabad is doing nothing. So how can we identify the subject in this one sentence? Through this one definition, a word which show a place, person, or thing. So Islamabad is a word, and it shows to us a place. And we are talking about this one Islamabad. We are talking about this word Islamabad in the remaining sentence. In the remaining sentence, we are talking about the Islamabad. So it's the subject. It's the subject of a sentence. But keep this statement in your mind that whenever we are studying that subject is coming before or at the beginning of the sentence. We are at the beginning of the sentence, but this is totally wrong concept. It is not coming usually at the beginning of the sentence. Usually it is coming at the beginning of the sentence. Mostly it is coming, but at the often it is but often it is also coming at the last of the sentences too. For example, mm, if I give to the example here, the bus is coming. Here the buses. Here, uh, here comes the bus. For example, here comes the bus. Here comes the bus. If you think about this one starting, so we are saying that subject is always coming before the at the beginning of the sentence, but mostly it is coming at the beginning of the sentence, but not usually it is coming before the sentence. In this one sentence, the bus is a subject. Bus is a subject. So here comes, it's the predicate of the sentence. Bus is a subject in this one definition, and it is also coming at the last one, part two. And the last one aspect of the subject is this. If you think about this one statement that the subject will be shown and it will be present in every sentence. This is also a wrong concept. If you think about the imperative sentences, for example, shut down, shut down, shut down. So, in imperative sentences, the subject is understood, but we are not showing the subject. The subject is understood in imperative sentences, but we are not showing the subject. So, there are some sort of sentences like imperative sentences in which the subject is not present, but it will be clear. Okay, so what subject? A word which show a person, place, or thing that we are talking about it is called subject. It's called subject. So, and whenever we are talking about two things. One is called the subject, and the second one is called a predicate. Predicate. For example, now we will explain a predicate. The part of sentence which tells about the subject. The part of sentence which tells about the subject. Again, I have given to this one example that nature is a good physician. In this one definition, nature is a subject. Because I have written and I have explained in the first one example as well. But nature is a subject. But the remaining sentence, for example, is a good physician. This is a predicate. And what's the work of predicate? It is giving the knowledge. It is giving the knowledge about the subject. It is giving the knowledge about the subject. This is the work of the predicate, the part of sentence which tells about the subject. For example, is a good physician. Who is a good? Yeah, we think is a good physician, or what is a good physician? Nature is a good physician. So nature is a good physician. So the subject is nature, but the remaining sentence is called the predicate of the sentence. This one example, he is dancing, he is dancing. And this one definition, in this one example, it is a subject. Because I have also explained to you with this one definition that this is the definition of the middle level and this is the universal definition. But the doer, who is doing? He is doing. So this is the subject. And the remaining sentence, because the remaining sentence is giving to us knowledge about the he subject. So this is called the predicate of the sentence. This is called the predicate of the sentence. And the predicate of the sentence contains the subject. And they will have to the subject in a predicate. And for a predicate, the verb is too much necessary. For a predicate, the verb is too much necessary. Without the verb, the predicate is impossible because the verb is the important part of the predicate. Again, I am discussing you with this one topic that what subject, the part which shows a person, place, or thing that we are talking about is called the subject. For example, nature is a good physician. In this one definition, the nature is a subject because we are talking about the nature. The earth is round because we are talking about the earth. So this is the earth is round. This is round. This is a predicate. Is a good physician. This is a predicate, but the earth is the subject. And we were studying in the middle classes that the doer of an action is called a subject. Yes, this one definition is correct, but often in some places this is not good. For example, he is eating meal. In this one definition, the he is a subject. He is a subject, but it is doing action. It is eating. He is a subject, but the remaining sentence it is called a predicate. If I'll give you this one example, if Islamabad is a capital of Pakistan, but according to this one definition, Islamabad is doing nothing. Islamabad is doing nothing. So what should I do now with this one sentence? We should follow we should solve this one problem through this one definition. A word which show a place, person, or thing that we are talking about. In this one definition, we are talking about the Islamabad. We are talking about the Islamabad. So it's called the subject of the sentence, and the remaining sentence is called the predicate of the sentence. The remaining sentence is called the predicate of the sentence. So what's the predicate? The part of a sentence which tells about the subject. For example, nature, it's the subject. Nature, we are saying something about the nature. So the remaining sentence is called a predicate. For example, he is dancing. Who, for example, we are saying something about the he. So the he is a subject, and the remaining is dancing. It's a predicate, and the predicate of the sentence contains the verb. The predicate of the sentence contains the verb. If you think about this one, fact, nature is a subject, but this is, so what is a verb in this one definition. Or in this one as well, he is dancing is also a verb. Yeah, but without the verb, the predicate is impossible. Without the verb, the predicate is impossible. Thanks.